19 Terumah Heave offering. Terumah, Heave offering. Parashah 19 Terumah, contribution. Torah Shmot, Exodus, 25 127 19, Haftarah Lachim Alef, 1 Kings, 5:26, 12, 6:13. Pirit Hadashah Messianic Jews, Hebrews, 8:16, 9:23-24, 10:1, Torah Shmot, Exodus, 25 127 19, 25:1 Adonai said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel to take up a collection for me, accept a contribution from anyone who wholeheartedly wants to give. The contribution you are to take from them is to consist of gold, silver and bronze, blue, purple and scarlet yarn, fine linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins and fine leather, acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones and other stones to be set, for the ritual vest and breastplate. They are to make me a sanctuary, so that I may live among them. You are to make it according to everything I show you, the design of the tabernacle and the design of its furnishings. This is how you are to make it. They are to make an ark of acacia wood 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide and 2 1/4 feet high. You are to overlay it with pure gold, overlay it both inside and outside, and put a molding of gold around the top of it. Cast 4 gold rings for it, and attach them to its 4 feet, 2 rings on each side. Make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. Put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark. You will use them to carry the ark. The poles are to remain in the rings of the ark. They are not to be removed from it. Into the ark you are to put the testimony which I am about to give you. You are to make a cover for the ark out of pure gold. It is to be 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. You are to make 2 cherubim, cherubs of gold. Make them of hammered work for the 2 ends of the ark cover. Make 1 cherub, for one end and 1 cherub for the other end. Make the cherubim of one piece with the ark cover at its 2 ends. The cherubim will have their wings spread out above, so that their wings cover the ark, and their faces are toward each other and toward the ark cover. You are to put the ark cover on top of the ark. Inside the ark you will put the testimony that I am about to give you. There I will meet with you. I will speak with you from above the ark cover, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark for the testimony, about all the orders I am giving you for the people of Israel. You are to make a table of acacia wood 3 feet long, 18 inches wide and 18 inches high, overlay it with pure gold, and put a molding of gold around the top of it. Make around it a rim hand breadth wide, and put a molding of gold around the rim. Make 4 gold rings for it, and attach the rings to the 4 corners, near its 4 legs. The rings to hold the poles used to carry the table are to be placed close to the rim. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and use them to carry the table. Make its dishes, pans, bowls and pitchers of pure gold. On the table you are to place the bread of the presence in my presence always. You are to make a menorah of pure gold. It is to be made of hammered work. Its base, shaft, cups, ring of outer leaves and petals are to be of one piece with it. It is to have 6 branches extending from its sides, 3 branches of the menorah on one side of it and 3 on the other. On one branch are to be 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a ring of outer leaves and petals. Likewise, on the opposite branch 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a ring of outer leaves and petals, and similarly for all 6 branches extending from the menorah. On the central shaft of the menorah are to be 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with its ring of outer leaves and petals. Where each pair of branches joins the central shaft is to be a ring of outer leaves of one piece with the pair of branches, thus for all 6 branches. The rings of outer leaves and their branches are to be of one piece with the shaft. Thus the whole menorah is to be a single piece of hammered work made of pure gold. Make 7 lamps for the menorah, and mount them so as to give light to the space in front of it. Its tongs and trays are to be of pure gold. The menorah and its utensils are to be made of 66 pounds of pure gold. See that you make them according to the design being shown you on the mountain. 26:1 You are to make the tabernacle with 10 sheets of finely woven linen and with blue, purple and scarlet yarn. You are to make them with cherubim worked in, that have been grafted by a skilled artisan. Each one is to be 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. All the sheets are to be the same size. 5 sheets are to be joined one to another, and the other 5 sheets are to be joined one to another. Make loops of blue on the edge of the outermost sheet in the first set, and do the same on the edge of the outermost sheet in the second set. Make 50 loops on the one sheet, and make 50 loops on the edge of a sheet in the second set. The loops are to be opposite one another. Make 50 fasteners of gold, and couple the sheets to each other with the fasteners, so that the tabernacle forms a single unit. You are to make sheets of goat's hair to be used as a tent covering the tabernacle. Make 11 sheets. Each sheet is to be 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. All 11 sheets are to be the same size. Join 5 sheets together and 6 sheets together, and fold the 6th sheet double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops on the edge of the outermost sheet in the first set and 50 loops on the edge of the outermost sheet in the second set. Make 50 fasteners of bronze, put the fasteners in the loops, and join the tent together, so that it forms a single unit. As for the overhanging part that remains of the sheets forming the tent, the half sheet remaining is to hang over the back of the tabernacle, and the 18 inches on the one side and the 18 inches on the other side of that remaining in the length of the sheets forming the tent is to hang over the tabernacle to cover it on each side. You are to make a covering for the tent of tanned ram skins and an outer covering of fine leather. Make the upright planks for the tabernacle out of acacia wood. Each plank is to be 15 feet long and 2¼ feet wide. There are to be 2 projections on each plank, and the planks are to be joined one to another. That is how you are to make all the planks for the tabernacle. Make the planks for the tabernacle as follows: 20 planks for the south side, facing southward. Make 40 silver sockets under the 20 planks, 2 sockets under one plank for its 2 projections and 2 sockets under another plank for its 2 projections. For the second side of the tabernacle, to the north, make 20 planks and their 40 silver sockets, 2 sockets under one plank and 2 under another. For the rear part of the tabernacle, toward the west, make 6 planks. For the corners of the tabernacle in the rear, make 2 planks. These are to be double from the bottom all the way to the top but joined at a single ring. Do the same with both of them. They are to form the 2 corners. Thus there will be 8 planks with their silver sockets, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one plank and 2 under another. Make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the planks of the one side of the tabernacle, 5 crossbars for the planks of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 crossbars for the planks at the side of the tabernacle at the rear door the west. The middle crossbar, halfway up the planks, is to extend from end to end. Overlay the planks with gold, make gold rings for them through which the crossbars will pass, and overlay the crossbars with gold. You are to erect the tabernacle according to the design you have been shown on the mountain. You are to make a curtain of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and finely woven linen. Make it with cherubim worked in, that have been grafted by a skilled artisan. Hang it with gold hooks on 4 acacia wood posts overlaid with gold and standing in 4 silver sockets. Hang the curtain below the fasteners, then bring the ark for the testimony inside the curtain. The curtain will be the divider for you between the holy place and the especially holy place. You are to put the ark cover on the ark for the testimony in the especially holy place. You are to put the table outside the curtain and the menorah opposite the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. Put the table on the north side. For the entrance to the tent, make a screen of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and finely woven linen. It should be in colors, the work of a weaver. For the screen, make 5 posts of acacia wood. Overlay them with gold, and cast for them 5 sockets of bronze. 27:1 You are to make the altar of acacia wood, 7½ feet long and 7½ feet wide. The altar is to be square and 4½ feet high. Make horns for it on its 4 corners. The horns are to be of one piece with it, and you are to overlay it with bronze. Make its pots for removing ashes, and its shovels, basins, meat hooks and fire pans. All its utensils you are to make of bronze. Make for it a grate of bronze netting. And on the 4 corners of the netting, make 4 bronze rings. Put it under the rim of the altar, so that the netting reaches halfway up the altar. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar and overlay them with bronze. Its poles are to be put into the rings. The poles are to be on both sides of the altar for carrying it. The altar is to be made of planks and hollow inside. They are to make it just as you were shown on the mountain. Here is how you are to make the courtyard of the tabernacle. On the south side, facing southward, are to be tapestries for the courtyard made of finely woven linen, 150 feet for one side, supported on 20 posts in 20 bronze sockets. The hooks on the posts and the attached rings for hanging are to be of silver. Likewise, along the north side are to be tapestries 150 feet long, hung on 20 posts in 20 bronze sockets, with silver hooks and rings for the posts. Across the width of the courtyard on the west side are to be tapestries 75 feet long, hung on 10 posts in 10 sockets. The width of the courtyard on the east side, facing east, will be 75 feet. The tapestries for one side of the gateway will be 22.5 feet long, hung on 3 posts in 3 sockets. For the other side there will be tapestries 22.5 feet long on 3 posts in 3 sockets. For the gateway of the courtyard there is to be a screen 30 feet long made of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and finely woven linen. It should be in colors, the work of a weaver. It is to be on 4 posts in 4 sockets, mafti. All the posts all the way around the courtyard are to be banded with silver and to stand in sockets of bronze. The length of the courtyard is to be 150 feet and the width 75 feet everywhere, with the height 7.5 feet. The tapestries and screen are to be of finely woven linen, and the sockets are to be of bronze. All the equipment needed for every kind of service in the tabernacle, as well as the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. Haftarah Lachim Alef, 1 Kings 5:26, 12, 6:13, 5:32. Adonai gave Shlomo wisdom, as he had promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Shlomo. The two of them formed an alliance together. King Shlomo conscripted 30,000 men from all Israel for forced labor. He sent them to the Elvanon in monthly relays of 10,000. They would stay a month in the Elvanon, 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Shlomo had 70,000 men to carry loads and another 80,000 stone cutters in the hills, besides Shlomo's 3,300 supervisors who were in charge of the people doing the work. The king gave orders, and they quarried large stones, expensive stones, to lay the foundation of the house with cut stone. Shlomo's and Hiram's builders, along with the men from Giv'al, worked the stones and prepared the timber and stones for building the house. 6:1 It was in the 480th year after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Shlomo's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of Adonai. The house which King Shlomo built for Adonai was 105 feet long, 35 feet wide and 52.5 feet high. The hall fronting the temple of the house was 35 feet long, the same as the width of the house itself, so that its 17.5 foot width extended frontward from the house. The windows he made for the house were wide on the inside and narrow on the outside. Against the wall of the house he built an annex all the way around. It went all the way around the walls of the house, including both the temple and the sanctuary. The lowest floor of the annex was 8.75 feet wide, the middle floor 10.5 feet wide and the third floor 12.25 feet wide. For he had made the outer part of the wall of the house step-shaped, so that the beams of the annex would not have to be attached to the house walls. For the house, when under construction, was built of stone prepared at the quarry, so that no hammer, chisel or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the house. A spiral staircase went up to the middle floor and on to the third. So he built the house, and after finishing it, he put its roof on cedar planks over beams. Each floor of the annex surrounding the house was 8.75 feet high and was attached to the house with beams of cedar. Then this word of Adonai came to Shlomo concerning this house which you are building: if you will live according to my regulations, follow my rulings and observe all my mitzvot and live by them, then I will establish with you my promise that I made to David your father. I will live in it among the people of Israel, and I will not abandon my people Israel. Pirit Hadashah Messianic Jews, Hebrews, 8:16. 9:23-24, 10:1, 8:1. Here is the whole point of what we have been saying. We do have just such a Kohen Gadol as has been described, and he does sit at the right hand of Hagdullah in heaven. There he serves in the holy place, that is, in the true tent of meeting, the one erected not by human beings but by Adonai. For every Kohen Gadol is appointed to offer both gifts and sacrifices, so this Kohen Gadol too has to have something he can offer. Now if he were on earth, he wouldn't be a Kohen at all, since they're already a Kohanim offering the gifts required by the Torah. But what they are serving is only a copy and shadow of the heavenly original. For when Moshe was about to erect the tent, God warned him, "See to it that you make everything according to the pattern you were shown on the mountain." But now the work Yeshua has been given to do is far superior to theirs, just as the covenant he mediates is better, for this covenant has been given as Torah on the basis of better promises. 9:23 Now this is how the copies of the heavenly things are to be purified, but the heavenly things themselves require better sacrifices than these. For the Messiah has entered the holiest place which is not man-made and merely a copy of the true one, but into heaven itself, in order to appear now on our behalf in the very presence of God. 10:1 For the Torah has in it a shadow of the good things to come, but not the actual manifestation of the originals. Therefore, it can never by means of the same sacrifices repeated endlessly year after year, bring to the goal those who approach the holy place to offer them.